In some criminal cases, there is no physical evidence, no DNA, no weapon, no eyewitnesses. Yet a conviction still happens. The reason is often a single piece of evidence that outweighs everything else: a confession. What most people don't realize is that confessions are not always true. In fact, documented cases show that innocent people sometimes confess to crimes they did not commit. This video explains how that happens, using real cases and established research. In modern criminal justice systems, confessions are treated as extremely powerful evidence. Once a confession exists, investigators, prosecutors, and jurors tend to view the rest of the case through that lens. Ambiguous evidence is often interpreted as confirmation rather than contradiction. Organizations that review wrongful convictions, such as the Innocence Project, have documented that false confessions appear repeatedly in proven cases where innocent people were later exonerated. This raises a difficult but important question. Why would someone who is innocent ever confess? Interrogations are not neutral conversations. They are structured processes designed to obtain information, and sometimes admissions, from a suspect. Deception during questioning. In the United States and several other jurisdictions, police officers are legally permitted to use certain forms of deception during interrogations. They may claim that evidence exists when it does not. They may suggest that witnesses have identified the suspect when they have not. This practice has been upheld in U.S. court rulings, including the Supreme Court case Frazier v. Cupp, 1969, which allows limited deception as long as it does not overbear a suspect's will. From a legal standpoint, this is permitted. From a psychological standpoint, it can be significant. Interrogations often involve long periods of questioning. Suspects may be isolated from friends or family. They may be questioned repeatedly over many hours. Breaks may be limited. Psychological research has shown that prolonged stress and fatigue reduce a person's ability to reason, resist suggestion, and accurately evaluate long-term consequences. As time passes, the immediate desire to escape the situation can become stronger than the abstract understanding of future legal consequences. Under these conditions, decision-making changes. Another documented interrogation dynamic involves how confessing is presented to the suspect. Investigators may suggest, implicitly or explicitly, that cooperation will improve the suspect's situation. Statements such as, "This will go easier if you cooperate. Being honest will be taken into account. We already know what happened." These statements do not always include explicit promises. However, research on interrogation psychology shows that suspects often interpret them as signals that confessing will bring relief. At that moment, confession can appear to be the fastest way to end the stress. Case: Brendan Dassey. Brendan Dassey was a teenager when he confessed to involvement in a serious crime. He was questioned for extended periods. He did not have legal counsel present during key portions of the interrogation. He frequently expressed confusion. Court records and expert analyses later highlighted how investigators introduced details and corrected his answers when they did not fit the expected narrative. Legal experts and psychologists argued that the confession reflected compliance under pressure rather than an independent admission of guilt. This case has been reviewed extensively in courts and academic discussions. Case: the Central Park Five. In 1989, 5 teenagers confessed to a violent crime in New York City. Their confessions were recorded and detailed. At the time, they were treated as compelling evidence. Years later, DNA testing and an independent confession established that the teenagers were innocent. Subsequent investigations showed that the confessions followed lengthy interrogations of young suspects under intense pressure. This case has been analyzed by courts, researchers, and legal organizations as an example of how false confessions can occur. False confessions are not primarily about guilt. They are about human psychology. Research in psychology and criminology has identified several contributing factors: extreme stress, exhaustion, fear, desire to escape an unbearable situation, misplaced trust that the system will correct errors later. In the moment, confessing can feel like a solution, even when it is not. A confession does not automatically equal guilt. Once a confession is given, it can be difficult to undo, even when other evidence is weak or contradictory. This is why researchers, courts, and legal advocacy organizations continue to study interrogation practices, not to excuse crime, but to better understand how innocent people can be drawn into false admissions.